Well, apparently I need to start addressing something that has happened in the comments on at least 2 times. And I think actually right now only 2 times, but I see a pattern developing. So I'm doing a video that was unexpected to do from my messy home office, and so there's going to be no really garage video today. But what I received was a comment, which I'm going to upload here, and you can see it probably right now, from a person in his channel who commented that on one of my videos that I dropped the F-bomb too quickly, and that he watches these videos with his granddaughters, and he was out. Now, I just want to say, I don't know what he meant by he's out. He was not a subscriber, so I'm not sure what his motivation is here, nor am I sure why he felt the need to comment. But I do want to note at least one thing here, and that is my videos are clearly noted not made for kids. Now, you might disagree with some of the language I use in my videos. It's not like I'm rampant. I mean, my goodness, I'm not Loza Alexander, for goodness sakes, but whom I love, by the way. But I don't litter them really with the language that this person and others have complained about. My question is, why are you watching videos not made for kids with children if you're concerned about being, exposing them to certain things? It's not like we are already in the midst of all this. If anybody has dealt with school-age children in government schools, you know already that we're dealing with a woke culture, and we're dealing with really an assault on our children. And I don't really make my videos political, but if you're going to call into question my use of language, then maybe, start cleaning up your own backyard. Now, I don't know what this person is dealing with, and nor do I know why he thinks that, I guess, that the kids in this day and age are living in a hermetically sealed dome of, I don't know, G-rated life. I don't know. But it's pretty hard for any child to escape all this. Now, this was true back in the 1960s and 70s. And I grew up in that era. And so to shield kids from things, especially language, then you know what? That's your duty as a parent to do so. Now, does that mean that I want, some of these weird, creepy things going on in schools and whatnot, and hey, it exists, and therefore, deal with it? No, not at all. But the choice is on the parent at this point, it seems to me. And that choice is, you're sitting down, you're watching not made for kids clips on YouTube or wherever, Rumble, whatever, and you're complaining to the creator for making content that is not made for kids. That's not logical. So, look, my channel is not for everybody. I totally get it. It's specific to a certain a thing. And if you look at my intro video, where I don't believe there's any cursing at all, you'll note the reason why I started this. And it was to, give an avenue for men in particular, I state it in it, to do something with their lives. So in some ways, the reason why I started this channel is because I wanted to give men sort of inspiration to do stuff rather than sit in a cubicle all day.
Working jobs we hate so we can buy shit we don't need. Our great war is a spiritual war.
There's more to life out there, and there's more that you can do, especially with, if you look at Economic Ninja, for example, there's potentially, and there already is, a lot of bad things coming in our culture and in our politics and in our country. And, men should have and people should have skills to be able to prepare for the future, if you will. Now, I want to say another thing. There's several YouTube channels out there. They're also not made for kids. They have an enormous following. And they use sort of ribald language from time to time. And there's nothing wrong with that. I don't think. I don't think there's anything inherently wrong with speaking frankly. As a matter of fact, you can't even escape it now. In our modern political discourse, you have presidents and presidential candidates dropping the F-bomb and all sorts of other stuff regularly. And, especially, I think I mentioned Loza Alexander, but, hey, if you're a country music fan, then, what about this guy who recently had a sort of a minor hit on his hands for complaining about the plight of people in Appalachia? I mean, did you shield your kids from that too? Because this stuff is just all over the place. Now, I do want to address one thing that it seems like I might be avoiding, and that is, well, look, just because everybody does it doesn't mean you have to. Yeah, maybe. That's true, but that's not why. What you get on this channel is a uncut, uncensored, I'm not going to change who I am type of channel. You'll see a lot of people on YouTube and on legacy media. That would mean the stuff that you get across your cable, legacy media, pretending to be something that they're not, or trying to do something for effect. And, that's not me. If I'm in a humorous mood, you're going to get a humorous thing. If I'm feeling a little bit, whatever, then you're going to get that. You're not going to get some sort of sanitized person. And to be quite honest with you, in the era of cancel culture, which, as you saw in my reply, I mentioned to him, the use of language is the least of our problems. Look at what's going on in schools.
New York parents, you keep making fucking noise, okay? Because this governor does not give a fuck about our kids, okay? They said, listen, kids come to school, you cannot turn them away based on their immigration status. They don't speak English, you need to find somebody who can speak their language. I'm sorry, what the fuck did you just say?
My language, the language that I use from time to time, is minor compared to, the chopping off of things on kids. And the fact that there's so many people now in high school who are just all of a sudden wanting to do this speaks to something more serious that's going on in the country and in our politics than others. And hey, look, it's, as I said before, when Bill Buckley in the 1968 Republican National Convention, I think it was, told Gore Vidal, to pretty much pound sand.
Now listen, you prick, stop calling me a crypto-Nazi. Let's stop calling names. You in your goddamn face, and you'll stay plastered.
Which was live on TV. I'm sure there's a lot of people who had to go, now kids, although back then they didn't complain about it. We only complain about it now. So what's wrong with modern Western man? That would be my question. What's wrong with what modern Western man that they can't handle a curse word now and then? That, by the way, your kids are hearing in school, all over the place, on TV. Now, the deeper question in all of this is whether our discourse has become so coarse that we shouldn't be using it. But I'm not so sure that I think our discourse is crude. All you got to do is look at what's going on in our schools and woke culture and what's happening in some of our political discourse from certain folks across the political aisle, so to speak. And you might say, this is unfortunate and regrettable, but in these times, I think we need to be plain and blunt about matters. And I'm not going to sanitize myself for cancel culture. I'm also not going to sanitize myself for people who get their feeling hurt. And hey, if you don't like it, move on. No harm, no foul. I really don't care. But the fact that a couple of people now have felt the need to go ahead and comment says more to me about their sensitivity and about the climate that we're in than it does about me, to be quite honest with you. And in the end, while I find it regrettable that some people are like this, I also find that I wish you well, and I don't care. I wish you well, but I don't care that you're sensitive about this matter. I want to say one other thing. The person wrote that, which is great. My channel is going nowhere. I love that. That's wonderful. This is from a guy who has 2,000 on his channel, much more than I do, by the way. So he decided to go ahead and comment that I'm not. Now, there's a lot of competition on YouTube for channels, especially in the genre of garages and mechanics and whatnot. And other people in comp. And I don't know if this is his motivation, but I refrain commenting or following this guy because, for example, I don't throw the bed of a pickup off a truck by sliding it down on its rails and then flipping it over onto the ground. I use a hoist to protect the bed of the truck. So I don't understand what's behind that, but that was a red flag to me because I make, this guy could be totally successful. He could have hundreds of thousands of subscribers. I don't think his channel is going to hell because I disagree with him. However, he felt the need to state that. And, look, man, I'll tell you what. You want to debate? Let's have a debate about the political climate and the use of speech in our present culture. And you and I can do that, okay? And if you want to have a very civil debate, I promise not to use any ribald language for you, then we can do that. But I will say this. I mean, it's not just me. It's, other people. I remember, especially What's-Her-Face did a very nice video a long time ago before she moved her channel over to What's-Her-Face Entertainment, where she it's hilarious, where she called out exactly this problem of people being so soft about our language that they get very upset about it.
The general sentiment could be summed up in 2 comments. Number 1, that disagreements should be settled through open debate, not censorship. And number 2, that this is not China, you dirty, dirty communist whore.
To be upset about other people's language without and feeling the need to comment on it, there's something very, very unsettling about that. I remember that there was a great skit by Mad TV a long time ago on The Sopranos, which and you know what? I'm gonna show it now.
Who ate all the gabagool?
No more gabagool for you. The doctor said it's bad for you.
I don't give a f. Can I get some more gabagool?
What am I, your servant?
You know what? I don't need this shit.
You want some gabagool? Why don't you get it from one of your little Russian who?
Tell you what, why don't you stop freaking my...
So that video basically said that, if you cut out the way people talk, especially on The Sopranos, then you're not going to have much discourse. You're not going to have much reality. And the reason why it's funny is not because that they're cutting out the curse words. It's because there's a level of unreality in society that is prevalent.
I am telling you right now, that motherfucker back there is not real.
And by the way, we see this all the time now. We see the government won't release things because, and this is worldwide, government won't release things because they feel that the material is too sensitive for us to handle. Well, hey, if my material is too sensitive for you to handle, move on. There's no reason for you to stick around here. You know, there's plenty of channels that you can watch made for kids that you will probably feel just fine with. And man, I encourage you all to do that. And don't watch Demon's Row. Don't watch The Vet Biker. Don't watch a half a dozen of garage videos that are posted every week that might deal with adult content. And when I say adult content, I'm not talking about the stuff you find on OnlyFans, okay? I'm talking about people who talk in adult manners, in an adult manner about adult things, and they might, oh my God, even have a beer on camera. Oh my goodness, so bad. We don't live in that kind of society today. And I'm not going to sanitize myself for you. We've had far too much of that already. And there have been a lot of people who've been canceled off the internet because of it. Not necessarily because of curse words, but because of the topics that they use. And our discourse, in order to be free, must be open and honest. Take the good and the bad. We're not infants. Adults are not infants. Emotionally, maybe more adults than ever are, but on this channel, you're not gonna get infantile adult conversation. Okay, I mean that's just the way it is, and I hope you all have a good day. I hope you understand why I did this. I kind of wanted to nip it in the bud, but anyway, hang loose.
God fucking speed!